Hi everyone. So today we're going to do a fun little Christmas winter wood craft. I got this little snowman kit from Wholesale, Decor, and more. So he comes with the little snowman base, the little hat trim, the little hat band, a scarf, a heart, carrot nose, 2 snowflakes, and 3 little wood buttons for the whole kit. And I'm going to do up a bunch of these for my craft show I have in November. And so I'm just starting and painting the bottom part white, just regular white acrylic paint, and I was almost out of paint, but I did get a little too much on here actually. But I'm putting just one good coat on, and then I will paint the snow for the top of the hat white as well. And for starters, that's it with the white. Realized I needed to get a little bit of that off. I had it on there a little too thick. So I'm just giving it a quick dry. And now for the 2 snowflakes, I wanted them white, but just with a hint of blue in it. So I just grabbed one of my blues and mixed it with a bunch of white. So it's mostly white still, but it has just a little hint of blue on it, because I wanted that to stand out from the snowman himself. So I've got those painted just slight pale blue. And then I'm going to paint his whole scarf white. I was almost out of white acrylic paint, just had a tiny bit left. And then when that is dry, I'm going to use my paintbrush and do every other little section there a green. So I'm just putting a good base coat of white on there for starters, and I'll let that dry. I'm just using some foam makeup sponges that I got on Amazon, and I just cut them up into little pieces, and they work great for these kind of projects with smaller pieces. And then I just throw them away so I don't have paintbrushes to clean. And now this is the hat and the trim of the hat, so I'm painting that black. On these pieces, for me, I found it works best if I kind of start in the middle and work my way out to the edges. That way I don't get the paint spilling over to the edges too much. And I ended up getting a little crazy with the black, and I had to go back and retouch part of the face of the snowman after the black dried, and get a little bit more white because I got the black coming down a little bit too far. It's a nice thing about these acrylic paints. As soon as they're dry, you can just paint layers over the top of them. Now I'm going to paint the 3 buttons and the heart and the band that goes on the hat red. And again, I'm just using a little foam sponge. So quick and easy. And on these wood kits, I probably should have showed you before I painted the snowman white, but they've got just the laser kind of cut in, kind of drew the lines of where everything is to be placed. So it makes it really nice when you're gluing it all together and assembling your snowman. I'm just using a little orange. It's called Pueblo in folk art, for the little carrot. And I'm doing that pretty light because I want the little lines in the carrot to still show through. Just give those a quick little dry and help those along. Now I'm just going to sand most of the pieces just lightly. Just dress all the edges. And off camera, I kind of fixed the white on the snowman. Now I'm just going to sand the edges of the white snowman body too. And I will end up sanding lightly the heart. And I'm sanding the scarf a little bit now, but I'll after I get all the green on and dried, then I will sand it again and rough all the green and white up on the scarf too. So I'm just using a little paintbrush and getting my green and just going in every other little square rectangle section. And I end up putting 2 coats on this. So after this green layer dries, then I put another coat on and touch it up and get it really on there really well. So now I thought before I assemble my snowman, I'm going to put a little bit of Mod Podge on him in spots. And then I've got these, it's a glitter, but they're big flakes. And I'm going to put just a few of those on random spots on the snow, that piece that will go on his hat, and also various spots on his body. But I had to move them. I didn't want them where I placed the nose or the scarf or the buttons or the snowflakes. So I had to make sure they were just kind of random, but not on those spots. Now I'm just getting a little bit on my paintbrush and I'm going to seal those on there. So I'm going to start putting him together. So I'm just putting his hat piece on first, and you just line it up with the edges. I love the dimensions. It just really brings these little pieces to life. And there's the red band for his hat. And I did put some glitter flakes on the snow of the hat piece here too. So you just line up all the edges and make sure they match, but you can see them coming to life. And I wanted to make sure where his scarf and everything went, but I don't want to put that on yet. I thought I'd put the little buttons on and the little pieces like the snowflake and his nose on. Then I will do his scarf last. Just getting a little bit of black, and there's some little black dots, so you just kind of follow the template that they have there. It comes with the little lines where to put his mouth and everything. Just let that dry before I put his nose and stuff on. And then there's little markings for his eyes too, so in a minute I will use a marker and then end up changing to just a little black pen, ball roller gel pen, to color in his eyelashes. And there you can see that the snowflake has a hint of blue on it. And you put the other tiny little snowflake on one of his cheeks. That's what I'm doing right now. And then his little nose will go next to that. And lastly is his scarf, and you can see where I really sanded that up and roughed it up. And then lastly, there's the little red heart, and I played around with it. You could put it wherever you want. I was trying to decide between the hat or his scarf. Then I have this little Merry Christmas tag that I printed on my computer, and I'm just putting a little distress ink all around the edges just to define that edge. So I thought I'd probably put it just under the heart there on his scarf. And he turned out super cute. You could make him in all kinds of different colors and varieties and different tags. So now I'm getting some baker's twine, and mine is really thin, as most of them are, but this is a little extra thin, it felt like. So I'm getting 3 strands, and I'm going to tape it to my craft mat at the top. And I thought I would braid these 3 strands together. So I'm just really loosely braiding them, just making a long enough string to make this the hanger string for the ornament. So when I thought I braided enough, I tie the ends, and I probably could have done without tying them right here, but so I take it halfway and push it through the hole. Then I pull those strands through the loop and pull it snug. That's when I realized I didn't need to knot those ends yet, because this is where I'm going to knot it put a knot in at the top. So I struggle kind of getting this knot untied. So now I just tie a knot at the top there. And he is done. And I have 11 more of these to do. I'm going to do up in various colors for my craft show. But I appreciate you watching, and up close you can see the little glitter on there. And he turned out so cute, and I hope this inspires you to do something similar. Thanks for watching. Have a whimsical day.